Hi guys, in today's video I want to do a side-by-side review of two of my favourite powders, setting powders I would call these. One is the Beauty Pie Uberlucent, I think it's a one powder wonder Uberlucent Universal, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Complexion Perfecting Micro Powder. I've done videos on both of these actually. This one was originally one of, I think it was actually the first like setting powder that I discovered that was like basically game changing. Like before this I used to just use a Rimmel one, which is great if you're young and you just want some mattifying, and it had good coverage, but as I've got older, like trying to set my under eye, it just becomes a cakey mess. It's not just my under eye, it's sort of my whole face really. Just was looking a bit sort of dry and cakey, I guess is the word, but just mostly sort of just dry and a bit terrible. So I was looking for, I don't even know what made me try it if I'm honest, but anyway, when I discovered this I thought, oh my god, this is like game changing, and it like changed my life. And then I kind of went down a bit of a slippery slope of just wanting to try all powders. So along that line I discovered Beauty Pie, and then when I was trying all of the different powders that Beauty Pie do, I've discovered this one, which I really like. And I'd say if anything it was actually probably more of a dupe of the Pat Macgrath under eye setting powder, which I've also done a video side by side of this one and the Pat Macgrath, which is why I want to do a side by side of this one and the Beauty Pie, not only because I think this is a dupe for the Pat Macgrath, but also because basically when I did that video I just concluded that I preferred the Charlotte Tilbury. I think if I remember correctly, the reason why I basically decided on this one was because I couldn't really tell any difference, and I prefer the look of the compact of this one. If you follow my channel you'll know these kind of things are important to me, and one of my gripes with this one was that I didn't particularly like the compact. As you can see, not particularly pleasant. It's quite thick and cumbersome and just reminds me of like a cheap Collection 2000 type one. Whereas the powder inside is great. Beauty Pie do actually do a refillable one that is like a much more attractive compact. This one's 30, but it's got another type of powder in it, and these are refillable. But for some reason they don't do this powder in this refillable thing, which makes no sense to me, but I guess it's whatever the lab that it came from is willing to do. But I have requested from them that they make this one in the refillable one, so we shall see. This one is also significantly cheaper. It's £12.50, £13, versus this one is £37 I think. At the moment it's £30 I think, because of the Black Fridays on at the moment here in the UK. Yeah, it's obviously significantly more expensive, and actually funnily enough Beauty Pie says that this one full price I think is £35, so that's, you know, suspiciously similar to the Pat Macgrath one. Anyway, I'll just get on with it. So I'm just going to do a side by side, same as I did with the Pat Macgrath versus Charlotte Tilbury, so that we can see really how that goes. So I'm going to put some concealer on so that I've got something to powder. I have already got makeup on, so this is going to be going makeup over this morning's makeup. Basically it's sort of evening time here in the UK, and this is quite frequently how I do my makeup in the evening. I basically, like if I'm going out for an evening, I will just put another layer of makeup on over the top of the makeup I've already got, which I'm aware is probably terrible practice, but I'm lazy and, you know, you've just got to work with what you've got. So I'm putting some concealer on now. That is the L'Oreal Concealer and Eye Cream in one. This is basically my favourite concealer at the moment. If you follow my channel you'll know that because it's in my empties video. But yeah, I'll do a side by side of the concealers video at some point as well. But it's such a lovely consistency, this one, and it's a good colour for sort of when I'm tanned and when I'm pasty, so I like it. Although now I look in camera it looks like it's a really stark difference, but weirdly in the mirror it doesn't look that different to my actual skin colour, which is strange. Anyway, it doesn't really matter as long as we can see how it sort of performs, the powder performs on top of any kind of concealer or like anything that needs setting basically. I think it's just highlighting the fact that my makeup needs doing again. So now that that is basically blended in, well, it looks weirdly, I think it's because I've got a light, because it's dark. My videos now I'm having to do, well, I do them generally in the evening, and because it's dark I'm having to do them by like artificial light, whereas normally they've got a window here so you can see like more realistic light. So I think that this ring light that I've got behind the camera is making it look much harsher a colour difference, because in the mirror it looks fine. Anyway, so I will, I think, do this side with the Beauty Pie. Oh, I don't know. This side is the one that I've got like a little milia, so this side generally looks not as good. So I probably should do the one that I think is going to be the winner on that side, which I think is probably the Charlotte Tilbury. I'd actually, if I'm honest, kind of forgotten about it after falling completely in love with it, because one of my gripes was that it wears down quite quickly. Probably not that quickly, but I do use a lot of powder, so and also that it spins. This kind of annoys me that this spins around, so when you're trying to get product it's spinning. I'm going to use this brush because that's what I used this morning and it's kind of my current favourite, but I don't know if this is the best plan actually. This is the brush I have been using recently, so maybe I'll stick with this one actually, because I think I know where I stand with this one. So going in on my right eye with the Charlotte Tilbury. I've got quite a lot of product there, which might not be advisable given that it's a second application. What I love about this one though is that it's the kind of, actually the same with the Uberlucent, and one of the things I like about powders is that I've just done on both sides, that you can use this, I feel, on all over your face. Like it's not really just designed for under eye. So that's that one, and I'm really in love with this. I had forgotten actually how much I like it. Well, maybe I'll put some on my actual face as well, like, because it's just, I don't know what it is that's in it that are just, I think it sort of says it's got some kind of oils in it, but I just don't understand how that's possible in a powder. But it's just such a nice feel, like it feels really luxury. I mean, it is luxury. Like that is really expensive. And how much powder I go through, I probably would need to get one of these almost once a month, and that is a lot to be spending on powder when I could just be spending £12.50. And this one has actually lasted me quite a long time, because one of my gripes with the Pat Macgrath as well is that there's a lot of fallout, whereas there isn't a lot of fallout with this one. Anyway, so this is the Uberlucent on this side, so I'm using the same brush. So obviously, let me clean it off actually. So I've just cleaned it off on a little spongy thing that I've got down here. So I'm getting as much product as I can. I'm going under. See, what I worried about with this one and with the Pat Macgrath was that it would come across as white, like once it was on. But I don't think it does. I mean, you might tell me otherwise, but I don't think you can really tell the difference, like between one that's got a colour to it and one that hasn't. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury, and it's more of a beigey colour, and this is the Uberlucent, and it's basically white. This is the second one of these I've bought, and actually it's the second one of the Charlotte Tilbury I've bought as well, because I liked it so much. But like I say, I just don't particularly like the compact, so the luxury feel of the Charlotte Tilbury does draw me back, and especially at the moment when there's discounts and stuff, it makes me think, oh, maybe I'll get another one. But like I say, I did go through it quite quickly, so that's, you know, also has its pros and cons. So I'll put some of this also on the other side of my face, so we can see the full sort of face situation. I kind of hoped that this would be conclusive in some way, but actually I don't feel like it is. Let me see if you can tell. Like, I can't tell a difference, if I'm honest. They both look the same. So again, inconclusive. Like, I don't understand how that is possible. I did feel like when I put the Charlotte Tilbury on, it was notably better than the other side, but that was because of the other side hadn't been done. So that doesn't really count as being in the Charlotte Tilbury's favour. But I mean, what do you think? This is the Charlotte Tilbury, this is the Beauty Pie. Can you tell any difference at all? I can't, which I don't know what to say now, because in the last video when I compared this to Pat Macgrath, I went with this because of the attractiveness of the compact, whereas now that price is in the competition as well, I feel like I'm going to end up just getting both and using them, this one for like special and this one for day to day. But then I don't really want to have that much sort of gumph in my collection, although I do always have like a million powders on the go, so I don't know who I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't even really know which to pick. Basically, I guess it depends on your budget. Like, if you want a high-end one that does amazing things, feels really special when you put it on, looks nice, but does go quite quickly. I mean, I don't know if it goes as quickly as, like, this one does also go fairly quickly because the amount of that I use it. But yeah, I think if you're looking for something high-end and you've got the money, then I probably would still go with this one. But because I'm trying to rein things in, because, you know, everything's more expensive these days, I probably will keep getting this, if I'm honest. Actually, Beauty Pie have just brought out another powder that I'm totally going to try, and it's possible that that will be more like this, because, I mean, at some point, Beauty Pie definitely have done other stuff that appears to be a Charlotte Tilbury dupe, so I don't know, we'll see basically what the next one is like, because this other powder that they did, I didn't particularly love. That was just a one powder wonder. I can't remember what it was called. They all seem to be called the same thing, which is a bit confusing. This is the only one that's like definitively different because it's called Uberlucent. Anyway, so that's probably not really helpful in any way. But if you like this video, then please like and subscribe. And that's it from me. Thanks very much for listening. Goodbye.